My name is Patrick. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at Hansei Solutions, and I'm in long-term recovery. I met Erin in 2021. Actually, in 2016, Erin started Hansei with a friend for his treatment center in Orange County. Same friend is who introduced me to Erin in 2021. Her goal was to change the trajectory of Hansei by expanding the brand nationwide. So I met her in Nashville. Hansei at that time had the market in California for billing. Met her in Nashville. I had just exited a company I started in 2013 in the South. I'd been an operator in treatment for over 20 years. And she said she wanted to expand her brand in the South, and she was looking for somebody that had relationships, smoked cigars, fished, and played golf. And honestly, I'd never been more appropriate for a job interview in my life. We laughed it off, but that's really how I built relationships in recovery and in behavioral health. And that was doing things that I love with other people that loved them too, And it's been, quite the ride. When I learned about Erin's company, I said, well, in my experience, it really helps for a company to be scalable before you try to scale it. Personally, I've done it right, and I've also done it wrong. So I said, why don't I, let me learn about Hansei for a month or so, and to see if this is something that I really think I can help with. And in that month, I learned about the operating systems. I learned about their functionality. I learned about the workflows, and I was convinced it was something that together that we could really grow and expand. So I jumped on board in the beginning of 2021, and it's been quite the ride ever since. We went from just California to nationwide, the largest behavioral health facility-based revenue cycle company. We're in about 40 states, over 200 clients, and we are the expert in behavioral health. And my job has been to expand the brand. And so when I looked at what Hansei was doing, what I realized was, you don't need sales, right? You need brand awareness. So I was able to build a team, and we were able to really focus on expanding the brand by just letting more people know about what Hansei does. So we like to say that we don't have any outbound sales. All our sales are inbound, all from brand awareness. And we focus on two things. And for me personally, it's been a lot of fun and very rewarding. We focus on making our internal culture at Hansei, showing it to people external. So we really spend a lot of time and effort in our culture. Erin and Gail and Carly that works on my team really focus really hard. But what we want people to know is we are people that very often are in or have a family member that's in recovery. We believe in recovery, and everything we do at Hansei is to help providers help people access treatment and recovery. So it really aligns. Hansei is really aligned with my, personal mission of, being in recovery and helping other people access it. And so it's been very rewarding. So over the years, we've really just focused on showing people that we're the expert and just sharing knowledge. Behavioral health is really hard. Working in behavioral health is hard. Access to behavioral health is hard. Insurance in behavioral health, both commercial and Medicaid, has never been harder to navigate and collect. And so, our goal is to help kind of ease that pain of being able to, access treatment, to be able to bill and collect in treatment, and to be able to help more people. That's part of the Hansei story, and I'm very glad to have, a little part of it. Part of the growth process at Hansei is to be able to take a small company that was formed in LA and keep both the internal culture and the mission as we've grown to a large company. We have employees in over 30 states. We have, hundreds of employees. Everybody's remote. So how do you keep that culture of working in a small office, but when you're working all over the country? And we've put a lot of focus and a lot of effort on that. I know Erin talks about that. I know Gail talks about it. We work on it on our team. But that's something that's really important to us, is to keep the passion and the focus and the mission. right? The same as it's always been from the beginning. As we grow, keeping mission focused is always the goal. I think when you have satisfied employees, they create a work product that satisfies customers. And I think that's how our brand and our referral and business has continued to grow so large over the years. Very often people ask me, well, you're so much bigger than you used to be. How do you continue to give maybe a small guy the same amount of the same boutique experience? And so I've got a real consistent answer to that. So first, behavioral health, unlike medical, it's unregulated. And if you work in behavioral health, it's the Wild West. And so there's so many payer changes. There's really no, it seems like, governance on rates and stuff like that. And all the payers have their own ideas of what they want. So the only way you really understand payer behavior is the volume of claims that you're seeing. We collected, $1.5 billion last year. We've done millions of VOBs. We have the largest private data set of claims in the country. And from that, we start to understand payer behavior. And so even though you might be able to do an okay job in-house, or you might be able to do a good job with a really small company, you don't get the benefit of that larger claims data. And there's really no other field that it's more important to have that in behavioral health. So part of the scalability of Hansei from when we were small to we were big, and how that relates to customer experiences, we have given people the same. If you have a 6-bed detox in California, or you have 600 beds in Tennessee, the process is still the same, right? And so there's a lot of parts of Hansei that you have the total team that helps you, first in and first out on VOBs and billing and AR, but the account manager, the client delivery executive, and also the utilization review specialist, it's really important for us that those are people that are experienced treatment, those are domestic, those are people that understand both the business and your clients. And we've remained focused on those roles regardless of how big it is or how big we've scaled. And that's really been a lot of success for us, and that's something that we commit to continue to do. There was a time in my life when I was really lost, struggled, mental health and substances, and I wasn't really aware of a solution or how to access treatment, didn't have anybody guiding me in the process. And so not only is it important to be able to help a company operationalize the process, bigger than that, at Hansei, we know that laws need to change, insurance companies need to be held accountable, access to treatment, and there's a lot of partners that we partner with that are in different parts of behavioral health, everything from lobbyists to digital brands to treatment centers to groups. NATAP is an organization that we are super involved in. So there's a lot of partnerships that we do, and we understand that this is a big problem that's getting worse when it comes to mental health and substance abuse. And to really partner with like-minded organizations and people has really been the key for us to have, more power to generate more change. Very often you'll see us announce partnerships online, through press releases, and those aren't always business partnerships. The Miles for Mental Health, where we raise money and run and walk to stay fit, is something that has been really successful to us. And we partner with organizations that do all kinds of stuff around mental health treatment, access to treatment, brain imaging, indigent care, anything that we can do to really push the thing. And personally, it's important to me that I can be involved in an organization that allows that. Bigger than that, we talked about keeping the culture. A really important part of culture for us is wellness. It's creating that work-life balance. When I first heard Gail talking about how we shifted to responsible PTO and to have that flexibility, she gave me the metaphor of a mom wanting to pick her kids up from the bus, right? Or somebody being able to take off, or being able to go see a kid's play, or be involved in something. And so to have that flexibility on the executive team, but be able to give that gift to somebody, because we get it. I mean, work is really important, but it's not the most important thing. And to be able to honor that in everybody's situation differently has really been awesome to be a part of. And I think more than how large we've gotten and more than how many organizations we work with or how many KPIs that we've met, to be able to give that gift to people of being able to honor their work and their recovery and their life all together at once has been probably the best part. You know, we talk about this often. We're pretty organized in our scheduling and our planning, our 1 year, our 3 year, and our 5 year plan, and we've hit those plans. You know, when it came to number, a big part of that is the brand recognition of when someone thinks about behavioral health billing, they think about Hansei as the expert. We are the expert, and people think of us as the expert, and that's been a very important goal. And I think what comes with that also is a responsibility to be an ethical provider, to share that information to both our customers, to people that aren't customers, right? To help them improve and navigate these very, muddy, rough waters of insurance and collections. Our ability with the team and Carly and JC of being able to have, podcasts and webinars and blogs that freely give out that information to help move the needle for anybody that works in this space has been what has really helped me believe that we've surpassed our goal of what we set at 5 years. In the future, we want to continue to do that. We want to continue to help providers, help people access more treatment. The space has really shifted in this last year. There's a lot of changes in appeals and denials, a lot of shifting in the payers and the requirements. And so it's never been more important to be able to give that information to providers as a whole, and we hope that we can continue to do that.